Enthusiasm with multi-tonal voice.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You haven't got anything.
It's all right.
I got the screwdriver.
I got the hammer.
All right, well, we are recording.
Excellent.
Are we? Well, welcome to the Faffing About podcast. And welcome also to the rather awkward introductions I give that have become somewhat of a signature dish of this operation.
I'm hungry for it.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Alexander Abineri. I don't know why that's suddenly become...
It's like an AA meeting.
The problem is we've been sitting here for so long in the cold talking about like life, and then suddenly
we've already been
1 minute,
chatting quite profusely for some time.
So I'm Alexander Abineri.
You were telling me earlier you like to dress up like a woman.
Right, what you've done there is you've taken that out of context. You're telling a story without everyone knowing.
Have I?
Yeah, just a bit. But anyway, I'm an actor, so that'll tie in, and a director, producer, do anything really. I'm a bit of a whore. So tying into that, I just found out that I got a job today playing a panto dame. So I'm getting paid to do this one. This time.
Wait. Nice. 20 years of training.
Years of drama school reduced to this. No, So I'm playing I don't know what dame it is. It's the Peter Pan one. So.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's gonna be good.
That's
fun.
like a classic Southend-on-Sea pantomime.
Yeah, we're doing it up in Braintree, so it's not quite Southend-on-Sea, but yeah, no, I think it's still relevant for that. That's what I do. Yeah, really. I don't.
Superb.
Just get dressed up as a woman.
I'm gonna jump right. Last time I saw you, you told me the story of when you were almost mugged in Southend High Street.
You?
Oh,
I would like you to repeat that story. Also, hold there. I've brought us all a gift. A gift from the car.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. Is it a mugging? Oh.
It's an old moot.
Oh, it's a mugging.
A mugging, yeah.
Empty your wallets.
Just put that dress on. It's a kiwi and lime old moot cider that I had in the car.
That's
if you would
fantastic.
like one.
I would love one.
I mean,
the way you said it made it
How
suggest
long
like
have you had them in the car?
Well, shout out to Jared Brand. I was meant to be visiting him yesterday, and I didn't in the end. But this is all he drinks, so I bought them especially.
Oh,
and I
thank you.
I thought my boys might like one.
Yeah.
Do they have a thing on this label that they said how you pronounce it? Yeah, it says pronounced incorrectly since 1940. I think it's old moot cider. I think that's how you pronounce it.
It tells us
Old
that we're doing
moot.
it wrong, but doesn't help us.
That's how I said it, isn't it? Old moot.
Moot?
Mount?
Moot?
Did you say moot or mount?
I said moot.
Old moot?
Moot.
That's definitely a Google one, isn't it?
It's just...
Okay.
The old social
It is still the
lubricant.
weekend after all.
Good Ash.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Chinny chin.
Cheers.
It's been a rather successful day for myself and Alex.
We've been busy. We've been very busy.
Yeah.
Do tell.
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
We started off. We were doing our American football documentary. So today is our first day of it. So they've got these sort of teaser taster days for all people who've never played before, and we brought everyone down, and we were like, yeah, no, let's go for it. And like last season, you got so many guys who play so well, and there's so many new series now on like American football documentaries. So you've got like Last Chance U, All or Nothing, like some big stuff, and people are loving it. And I thought, there's nothing in the UK. And there's something like a ridiculous amount of UK teams, like hundreds of UK teams. Who love the sport, and like you look at Wembley, like they got something like 89,000. I don't know how many it was. I might be lying here, but like 89,000 people came to see like the Wembley games that were out in like with Jaguars versus. I'm a good fan. No, I can't. I can't remember the other team. But yeah, so it was one of those things that we thought, let's try and do like a little documentary of a local team that I'm actually in as well. So that helps, and. We start that today was our first day of filming, so that was interesting.
Hence how you broke your finger on an American football.
Hence how I broke my finger on American football. That wasn't today though, to be fair. That wasn't today. That was another time when I was playing.
Yeah.
Very gallantly and heroically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been basically started this journey of following their season. So it was the first day of filming today, doing the recruitment day. So that was very fun. That was really cool to see people, and you also like. it's good to see people that are actually really good at it as well. I didn't expect you guys to be that good.
Cheers.
In the politest way possible. It's like my expectations was so amazingly overturned. It was amazing.
Honestly, don't worry about it. It's fine.
All right, yeah.
It's glad we have that experience to change your mind. No, to be honest, mate, I was feeling the same. I was like, this is going to be awful. No, some of the guys on there are just amazing. Like they're athletes.
Yeah, they're just crazy.
I'm not
talented.
counting myself in that category, even though I play for the team. I'm not one of those guys. I'm one of the heavy dudes who just gets hit and gets concussion every game. So I just sit there and take a whacking. But some of the dudes are just brilliant. And like we've got what was nice as well. You had the brand new guys coming in, who just no idea of the game. Like there was varying experiences as well. So some people who never played before, some people who've seen it on TV or stuff, and or some people who have at university. So universities, at the moment, every university pretty much has a team. So it's getting really popular. And so it would see those guys versus like some of the guys that we've got there, like Mitch and like Kyle and like Adam RQB. These guys who have just like been there for years and are just running awesome routes and things. Like this guy Mitch, who's our running back.
He's rapid. He is rapid,
mate. He's just this monster. Like he's just this ripped sort of like athletic god. It's outrageous. I mean, he was like
hold your heart on.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
tell the table down.
Nursing a semi at the idea of it. No, he's like he's all right. Yeah, cheers. He's fine.
He's not bad.
Yeah, I could beat him in a race. No, that's a lie. I've lied there. That's what I've done.
I think I saw him do his 40-yard dash at like 4.6.
Yeah. And that was like a walk. That was like a sort of like that was like not an accurately timed.
I don't think I've ever seen someone run that fast in person.
No,
I don't think so. Like seeing someone run that quickly, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like I could never do that.
The camera suddenly turns very quickly.
I was amazed, yet like mortified how unfit I was, because like just the warm up, watching them do like the warm up was like 20 minutes. After like 5 minutes, I'll be like, that was great. Thanks, guys.
Good hustle.
I'll see you next week.
Same time?
I'll wait for you in the showers.
I couldn't do it.
It's a long wait.
He just sat on a deck chair in the shower.
All the hot water gone.
It was insane. Like I was saying to Alex earlier, I was like, I can't believe how fit they are or how unbelievably unfit I am, because after maybe 10 minutes of just watching them, I was tired just from moving around the pitch. Shows how much I know. Going around the pitch, I was just like, I can't even sit down. It was insane.
Yeah, so like that was our first day today, and really it's one of those things that. This has been like my tagline. It's a marathon, not a race. This documentary has been a marathon, not a race, and it's just getting everyone used to like cameras being about. It's amazing. Like at the beginning of the day, people just sort of like not used to it, and then the camera would be there, and they'd be like, "Oh, moving." We'd be like, "No, don't just keep cool. It's all right, no worries." And then eventually, by the end of it, they just ignore it, and they're just in that. That's where we wanted them to be. And another little element which is really cool about the UK series is the fact that you've got in these professional series like the colleges in America, the NFL teams, you've got my voice went weird then. You've got
testicles are dropping.
Yeah, my Christopher Walken impression. We'll do that later. It's waiting on tenterhooks to get that out. No,
that's until we're reaching halfway.
Hey, no. Anyway, so you've got all these American teams, but they're all professional athletes, so their whole life is American football. And what's amazing about our chance for this documentary is what I think is the most important thing about a documentary is what the people are like. What the people's stories are. And what's lovely about this is you've got these people who, like, one guy's a waiter, and like he wouldn't say he's like Bootle Goose or anything, and then suddenly you put him in the full uniform, put kit on, and he's hitting the dude like 100 miles an hour, and at the end of it, it's like, yeah. So it's like you get these amazing stories as well, which we're hoping to try and tie in and tell the people stories, which is I think the most interesting, fascinating thing.
Yeah, it's just really interesting as well, because it's such a local thing, like such a small local thing, and when you think of these documentaries, you're thinking like massive big budgets. Like the only way you get documentaries if you're like crazy good and like, or you're in a huge, big team. It's like this is like a small team that have a lot of things riding on. They've got other jobs. They've got part-time jobs. They've got things. They've got families, stories. I think that's what's like I was saying was really key. to highlight
The character is.
it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Even just filming today, I was just like, I feel so engaged into their stories.
I mean, and it was like you look at it, we've only scratched the surface on how many people are there. We had about 25 people there today, but we've got something registered like 49 players. That's not including the coaching staff and all the other people that are helping. So there's so much scope, and like you say, you've got all these lives outside of that saying, I can't get to that training session, or I need to prioritize other things. And just those stories are really, really interesting. So that's like our sort of unique selling point, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Which makes it so much fun. But yeah, we were quite nervous today, weren't we? It was like, because being it's like the first day, it was like, yeah.
I wasn't really nervous.
All right, well, I guess I was nervous.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Speaking of human beings running into each other, I was at Twickenham yesterday watching England versus New Zealand.
Yeah. Yes.
Such an
That could
exciting
have been-
game.
Yeah.
Robbed though.
Really.
Well, I don't know.
New
We
Zealand, like, the
sort of
best,
scored a
aren't they?
try and it was really contentious offside, and then they didn't give it, and they won 16-15. It was like the atmosphere was electric though. But they did a minute silence for Remembrance Day at the start. Like, I felt really emotional.
Yeah.
It was like total silence, but the rain was coming down, so you could just hear it was like
That must have been
really
amazing.
atmospheric. Yeah, it's really cool though.
Very cool.
But they all the fans when they did the haka, all the fans sung "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" to drown it out. I was a bit like, it kind of effective, but I'll shut up or listen to the haka.
The amount of times I end up on YouTube going hacker videos. just
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's so
I love
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
That must be the best feeling in the world, doing haka in a packed stadium.
Could you imagine being opposite that? Being like, I don't really want to play anymore. You guys are terrifying me.
I have a theory. Well, I think we need a comeback to the haka, and I think what would be effective is a good, strong Morris dance.
Is that the one with the pole?
Because they
What's the dance with the pole?
no, that's a different.
Oh, there's a maypole dance.
the maypole might. Yeah, I mean, you know,
Invoke fear into the hearts of our enemies.
yeah.
Oh, running around with the ribbon.
No, bear me out though, because they do the haka, get themselves all charged up, full of testosterone, and then they have to stand there and watch us, and we just drain their testosterone with the Morris dance sticks and bells, and we just watch it drain back out of their bodies.
I'm not really up for this game anymore.
Touche, bitch.
I like the maypole. This is great.
It's the anti-hype. It's the anti-hype, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's no longer hyping us up. It's
Yeah.
to get rid of your hype.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's thinking outside the box, isn't it? Coming
Yeah.
at it from a different angle.
Definitely.
I think it'd be effective.
I'm willing to put everything I have
Into making this a
into
reality.
into getting this
Yeah.
made up. My glasses are steaming.
No, this is how excited you are at the thought.
This is the thing, though, right? We're outside. We're obviously wearing coats and things. I get warm all the time. I'm clammy even in winter. To be fair, that's my thing.
That's your superpower.
That's my superpower. If I had a superpower, you're constantly wrong hot.
Hold.
Human radiator.
Don't make me cuddle you. I have to take this off. I'll start steaming in a second. Right.
Right.
Can we not have so much fun, please?
Yeah.
No,
let's calm it. This is a serious business.
But yeah, but not only going back to the filming stuff. Not only are we doing that project, but Alex has got another project that we're working on called Behind the Badge. It's a really fun like TV comedy sketch series.
Yes. Yeah. Series.
But no, that's Alex. I'll let you explain that one. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So we've one of our many little projects that we're doing. So this is like. Someone told me, it says, if you're doing like a project or you're working on something, it's always good to maybe have two projects, because it's one of those things that you can bounce between the two. And the amount of times that you work on something and you go, like you might hit a bit of a wall, or you think, I'm not sure how I'm going to break past this. A lot of time when you work on your other project and you move along, then suddenly a little bit of inspiration comes and it helps out with the first project. So it's really nice to be able to work on the same two projects together. And so Behind the Badge, it's about these two police officers, these police detectives in this tiny sort of like village in Essex, and there's like 6 detectives, including them, in a town of like 173 people. So they're already over policed. They don't need this many people. And there's this amazing law, which is true, which is like Foreign Affairs Gunnery Service or something, which means you can, and this is real, like you can like get people across from like America and a lot. I think it's like Commonwealth countries who've been in the police force, and they can join the police force, which is quite interesting. So there's this guy I know, funnily enough, from the American football, who used to be our quarterback. He is an actor, and it's weird. Like you do all these things in life, and then suddenly they've got links. And he said he's a part of Screen Active Film in America and all this. And we were talking a bit about projects. He was like, we got to work together. We got to do a thing. And so we started writing this comedy. So I play this sort of bumbling idiot of a police detective. So it's a lot of real acting work there, and he plays this like really on it cop from America. He's like New York sort of cop. He's like, I ain't taking no shit sort of thing. Like I get it there. And it's fucking murder. And I'm like, well, no, the hamster died of old age. And he's like, no, it's fucking murder. I know it is. And so it's this sort of ridiculous sort of like double act. And we find ourselves on like these stakeout situations where we're just trapped in a car, and you just like there's moments where it's like a whole minute goes by. There's nothing, just no noise, and he's just sitting there looking, and all he hears is like my characters just go, and it's just like, shut up! It's that sort of like, you're so frustrating. So it's a high energy sort of mad, saney comedy, but filmed in like a docudrama. So the UK office meets, I don't know, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like that sort of thing we're trying to go for. Yeah, no, it's exciting. We're going to be filming that hopefully beginning of next year, and then just organising it all at the moment.
So tell me about the mugging.
You've waited a long time. You've waited a long time to be able to ask that. See, I'm wondering which rendition to tell you. So I can't remember what I told you. Sometimes my stories go.
So you're in South End High Street in a dress.
In a dress? Were you in a dress?
I think this is a lie. I think you're lying to me.
You weren't in a dress.
Right, okay, cool, because I'm getting confused.
You're in a kilt.
I was like, was I? No, I wasn't in a kilt. Was this the one where it was my friend and I was like punching people? Yeah, okay, cool. So,
how many times have you been mugged?
Look at me.
What year was this?
Thing is, I don't look like I should have any money. It's just mugging. No, stop it. He talks posh. No, I'm not. I'm actually working class.
Yeah.
It was Christmas time. And
set the scene.
See, it's Christmas time, and we've been to Mayhem. That's already off to a good start.
Mayhem is a terrible nightclub here.
Yeah.
It's actually closed down now. It's now being replaced by something that looks equally awful.
Yeah, Moo-Moo's. I went in there the other day.
Did you?
Well, I went into Moo-Moo's the other day, and I was so drunk, I just went around and go, this is the same as Mayhem. You've just changed the decor.
You've just made the name worse.
You've made it less syllables.
The curtains want this purple.
You've painted it.
Please just order a drink, sir. This is the one. Yeah, so that's Moo-Moo's. So anyway, Mayhem is what it was originally, which was great Mayhem, to be fair. It was awful, but great, because you ended up going there on Monday night, old school emo night, just like, having a good time with the old bands. And so we were there at Christmas time, and we leave, and my mate and we've had a few drinks, as you do. And we go around the corner to like this sort of like, you know, the areas like Frankie and Benny's and all the chicken shops and all that sort of stuff. Like this is the food court of at 3 in the morning.
Classic 3 a.m. cuisine.
Yeah, exactly.
The local restaurants.
Yeah, that's it. And the delicatessens.
Pret-a-manger.
The pret-a-manger of South End.
Anyway, so we walk around, and this guy comes up to my mate Sam. And there was 3 of us, and he comes up to my mate Sam, and he goes, "Wagwan, fam." And he went, "What?"
Excuse me.
Pardon me, good sir.
Have you sneezed? No. And he went, like, "Wagwan," and he went, "Ow, go away," and pushes him, and then my mate pushes him back. The guy then punches, like, that's escalated immediately. So he punches my mate Sam. My mate Sam then punches him back. Literally, as soon as he lands that punch, 2 cars... It was like something from like Miami Vice or something. They just come in there. They just came in, slid in. Blokes just emerged from these cars and started just punching my friend. And I was like, what's happened?
This is taking a turn.
Yeah, I was having a good time with Wagwan. I was like,
Wagwan, fam.
His name is Wagwan.
Yeah, that was his name. I was like, well, let's talk a bit more. No, anyway, so he's having a terrible time. And I was like, well, I need to do something at least. So I jump in the middle and I pull him out. And they're so angry at him, they don't really notice me because I'm in my body warmer and all this. So I'm sort of like a bit of aloof. I just grab him, pull him away, and end up just sort of like punching them while protecting him and going, "Calm down, you cunts." So I was like,
like an annoyed mum.
yeah, with a hammer of a punch. No. But I thought, this is so weird. Like, I'm telling you to calm down while assaulting you.
Desist, sir.
Expect this on Facebook by tomorrow.
So I was sorting this out, and I pull him away, and they just like, turns out, I'll skip forward a bit, but the police were like, yeah, you guys were really lucky. Like, there was like something like 12, 15 of them. I was like, Christ. But anyway, back to it. Calm down, you cunts. And I'm dragging him away, and they start semicircling us, just like a pack of tigers around a mammoth. There's no guess who I am. But anyway, I was pulling him away, and I was like, this isn't going to go well. One guy comes forward, and my mate, in a drunken haze, just goes over the top and just goes, bang, and hits this dude perfectly, like an artillery round. He just comes in, bash, hits this dude in the face. Nose breaks, blood, snot, everything in the air. And I'm like, great. This. I was in awe. I was like, it was like a little firework display. I was like, this is brilliant. Next thing I know, bang. I'm like, my jaw's dislocated. I'm like, I'm a mess. I look at the bloke, and then he runs away. But that's one of those things. Like, the dude's hit me so hard, and I've just looked at him, and he's gone, no, no. You've got the situation where you hit someone so hard, and then you're like, they don't do anything. You're like, oh, I'm done. I'm on the floor. You've won.
Yes.
So he's run away, and then my friend's bolted, which was the best thing ever, because like 80% of them go and chase him, and he's a fit lad. He's capable of running. I'm not so much. So I went, I'm going to hang about here for a bit. And
I was going to chillax with Wogwan.
Yeah. How are you? I feel like we've not really talked over this whole experience.
Anyway.
And then like the dude, like he runs away. Most of them run off. And this little dude comes up and he pulls a knife out. And I was like, oh, shit. And I thought, I've got a couple of things I can do here. So I just went instinctively like dad mode. I just went up to him and went, no! It's not got to this! Pack it in! I used the words pack it in. And he went...
I mean, that's going to just get him to take you aback, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing. I thought it's either going to go... It's either going to go, all right, or it could have gone very badly. Pack it all.
Oh, mate, kidney.
That's not supposed to be in there. So I pack it in, and he panicked. He panicked. I became the father he never had, basically.
I wonder how he's like. I wonder if his life changed after that.
Well, he's probably in prison now.
No, maybe he changed his ways.
Yeah, hopefully.
He got home and went, you know what? Perhaps I should pack it in.
Yeah, that chubby dude was right. Yeah, I mean, just a knife and an epiphany.
He had a point.
I'd like to
having
think
a montage in the shower.
Yeah. Or sniffing a line of coke. No. Oh dear. Anyway, so the guy, I was like, right, pack it in, and he immediately clicked his heels and went, no, fam, no, you're all right, it's him I've got a problem with. I went, no, you haven't, he's fine too. and then I saw my mate, and he'd literally come to the side of a building, this brand new like bar.
Wait, he was still running.
He was running.
You were just observing him.
Well, I was tired by this point. I'd already shouted at this bloke.
Like a gazelle on a wildlife documentary.
So we can see
We can see
The hooded youths chase him through the car park.
and locally in Southend High Street. No, so anyway, Sam bolts and he gets to the wall. And then a few of them catch up to him. Some of the other guys have clearly got tired because there's not as many that set out on the run and who are back there. They've gone, he's not worth it, really.
They haven't learned to sort of change runners and
not alternated or anything. No. So there's only about three of them.
Through.
Yeah, so
Amateurs.
Eight of them set off. You guys really don't know how to do this, do you? 8 of them set off. 3 of them returned. Or maybe Sam beat them up on the road. Who knows? But Sam gets there and Sam's like, whoa. He gets backed up into the wall. He's like, whoa, and this dude just steams him, hits him in the face. He hits head of the back of the wall, goes to sleep, and he's like, and at that point, I'm like running over. I was like, Sam, and so I was like, get out of the way, you bastards!
on your hands, and
then
It's raining.
or it's my sweat. I don't know.
just dripping over his face. It wakes him up.
My love would bring you
Why is
back.
it so hot in here?
Why am I so clammy?
We're outside. I have to take these off. So Sam's dying. No, he's not. He's fine. And I pick him up. I carry him. No, there's a police officers come at this point, and I'm like, thank goodness. They were watching for a little bit. I was like,
Their
cheers,
bet's on.
mate. Yeah. I think the fat one's gonna go. And I was like, right, okay. And I was like, but at which point the police turned up. I was like, you've seen it all. They're over there.
I can imagine you being so theatrical. You've seen it all.
I've got another funny story about being theatrical in front of the police. But anyway, I was like, they're over there. Go and sort them out.
I've told my mummy.
I was like, we've been assaulted. And
They're like, we know.
Like, we filmed all of it.
yeah. We didn't expect you to be here today. So like, and then my other mate. So I told you there was 3 of us in the story.
I forgot.
Yeah, the other one fucked up.
Oh, right, yeah, he just bolted
He
instantly.
looked at it and went, nah.
He's
He hung
like,
about, but he didn't get He was like,
just
no.
cross the street.
Yeah, if you guys die, that's
yeah. Oh, you got this handled.
But no, it's all right. To his credit, he decided to step up at this point. He went, officers, follow me. Went over there.
Wow.
Went over. He's like, it's him. The police officer's not behind me anymore.
Well, they just didn't follow him.
And he's gone up to these blokes and gone, you, I'm in trouble. I'm immediately in trouble. So
You are all bloody handsome.
you really do have an arm.
And what God do you?
So he
fellow.
then ran away. But yeah, apparently they were from Enfield, I think. So the Enfield Massive. I don't know who they are.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. But I was talking to the police and they were like, yeah, you boys, one of you probably should have died that night. And I was like, oh, that's a
quite
weird conversation to be having with me, sir. No, he
Cool.
didn't say it like that. He was like, no, you boys really lucked out. Yeah, but apparently there was a thing as well. A friend of mine was telling me that something similar had happened, and then the guy with the knife it might not be the situation. Who knows? We might have just been in a bit of a random sitch. But the guy with the knife is apparently it could be considered like a gang initiation. You stab someone, then you're right, and then they all fuck off back up to London or wherever they are. Into the ghettos of Enfield. But that was a bit hairy. It was one of those nights I was like, that scared me.
Woke up in the morning like, well, that happened.
Well, that's the thing. Is I remember because I dislocated my jaw. And that was one thing, actually, I thought to myself. I was like, well, there was like 15 blokes. I had a dislocated jaw. Sam had a fat lip and he went to sleep for a couple of seconds. We actually did all right, considering there was that many of them. So, but I remember I was like that for a day and I couldn't eat. That was what pissed me off the most. I couldn't eat for a whole day. I was stuck on soup, and I was like, "Oh, this is not worth it."
I mean, to be
Film
fair,
me now.
there are some excellent smoothie options out there these days.
It's true. I can still drink alcohol, so
Yeah,
Soothe my bruises.
yeah.
get out of here. No, it's just gone Stewie Griffin on them.
Stewie impression.
You're a bad man. Get out of here.
That is exquisite.
How about we all stop fighting and I sing us a song? So, yeah, I would have got stabbed then. So yeah, no, that was that. But the other theatrical thing I remember with the police once, there was a little altercation. It was nothing massive. I'm making myself sound like I get into fights all the time. But I guarantee that.
But do go on.
But I will continue telling them the story. No, it's the only little thing. I remember I was walking through town and it was like a load of youth dem and be like, you're right, man, and all this, and we're like,
Yes,
have a good evening. And we were walking past, and then we had to walk past again to go get our mates' girlfriends, and then we had to walk past them again. And we were like, oh, this is not going to end well. And then one of them started getting up, and then one of the girls from our group went to one of the girls in their group, being like, you should not let these blokes treat you the way you are. And I was like, no.
Oh, no.
Oh,
You should have a
no.
bit more respect
Yeah,
for yourself.
yeah, no. And she was like,
no.
you're a strong woman. And these guys are bullshit. And I was like, oh, fuck. You just called them bullshit. And then the guy's like, don't call me bullshit. And then the boyfriend goes, don't talk to her like that. I was like, I don't want to be here. This is not my scene.
Fly
I
away.
just want to be in my jammy jams.
And I was like, and I think I remember just being like, I panicked and I went into my just like oi, shut up sort of thing, and then as soon as that, I felt like a hand on my shoulder. I turned around, it was like, oi, what are you doing? And I was like, I have no idea, officer. I haven't a clue.
I blacked out.
These people have been causing altercation. I have no idea. You should probably have a chat with them. I've talked my way out of it. It was, you're too posh. You can't be into a fight. So yeah, that was the way I talked.
You got a blade. You got a fucking.
This I've just come from the butchery. So the abattoir.
The severed head in my hand.
I found it like this, honestly.
That's a bat.
Just it's a bar now.
Is that a bar now?
That
We're
was
outside.
genuinely a bar now.
I'm not wearing my glasses.
Wow.
Yeah, I just saw this. Look, this winged creature in the
How
sky.
cool is that? The benefits of doing podcast au naturel.
Yeah, backing onto a field.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm glad my back was turned.
Yeah. Trust me, it was the best thing I've ever seen.
I'll have to take a word for it when I. Maybe
Man.
we caught it on that camera, but
I
yeah.
don't- I'm quite fortunate that I don't think I've had any of those confrontations.
It was one of those things that it really did make me realise, like, especially the one where we got jumped in town. I was like,
How long ago was that?
this was a couple of years ago now, and it was I've never been in situations where I've been in fights or anything. I was just never in that sort of company or anything, and it was that situation where it was just forced upon you. You can't escape it, and you go, right, well, what am I going to do? And my mate was really sweet the other day. He was like, no, if you weren't there, Al, I would have been in trouble, so thank you. And I was like, that's all right, you're my mate, and I have to try
What
it.
about the other mate?
I don't know where he is. No, he's lovely. He was like sort of like, fuck it. But I was like, no, you did your bit. So it was. I think you distracted one of them. But it was tough. It was tough, and it was one of those things that was terrifying. I remember the whole time my leg was like,
Yeah, it's like funny afterwards.
You
but
got
at
to
the time,
control
it's
that adrenaline as well. You're
Yeah.
thinking like, this is not worth getting stabbed for.
no, exactly.
It's like, I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah, I made the bad move. I probably shouldn't have told the dude, stop it, put the knife away. But it was
It seemed to be effective.
It works. Yeah, it was a bit of a gamble, a bit of a throw of the dice. But it was. There's some funny stories to come with it, I suppose, which is good fun. But terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, that sucks.
It gives you perspective, though. 100% gives you perspective. You're like, when you see something happening, you're like, probably going to go now because it's not worth anything that's going to come from this.
No.
Which, like, when you're young, like I say, we are young, but like when you're young, you just sort of like you do have that feeling of being invulnerable and everything, invincible, and you can just do anything and like you have a fight. Yeah, it's good fun. But then sometimes you suddenly go, oh, that was a bit close to the mark.
Yeah. You only have to do it to the wrong person.
Yeah.
Knife in your kidney.
Yeah, I'm bleeding quite profusely right now.
You're like, oh,
That should be inside.
right. Yeah, why are all my
someone
things on the floor?
My things.
my adjusting instruments.
Yeah.
Make it sound like there's a bag. That's mine.
Oh.
I did watch. I was listening to it was a YouTube podcast a couple of days ago, and someone said they spoke about they actually got stabbed and they got shot as well.
Wow.
And they said you know the difference between getting stabbed with a blunt knife and a sharp knife. We said when you're in a fight and someone stabs you with a sharp knife, you don't know you've been stabbed until you're thinking like, why is my shirt wet? You're like, oh shit, I got stabbed.
Yeah.
Blunt knife, you know you've been stabbed. And I was like,
Makes sense, yeah.
yeah, that does make sense.
I think I'd probably prefer a blunt one then.
Would you?
Well, if you think you're not going to know, like if you're in a horrible situation that you are going to be bleeding, I want to know that as early as possible so I can maybe try and stop it.
I feel like you'd probably notice quite quickly still.
Yeah.
It depends how much.
I'm in like McDonald's afterwards and like,
So you're looking very pale.
Yeah.
did you come out with a white top? It's red. No, I'm fine. Yeah, okay.
Actually, I ordered bacon with my big toe.
You don't have double cheeseburger.
He's really sad about that, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, okay, maybe I retract my statement. Maybe
although
I'll
I,
prefer a
think,
sharp one.
I do think that Southend has become a bit of a growing ground for this sort of stuff.
Oh,
Although
God.
people do say it's
Worse
a bit
and
of
worse.
it's a bit of a gang thing though.
Yeah.
Like a
I think
gang on gang.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that, you keep your nose down, you keep your head down, you enjoy yourself and have a good time. You don't look out for it.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. I think it is one of those rare sort of little anomalies that that do seem to happen. But there was a big march, wasn't there? I mean, say it's not that long ago. It was probably about 6 months ago or something. There was a big march through Southend about trying to help
Was
reduce
there?
knife crime. Yeah, so it is a thing that's being noticed that is a bit on the high. But then I think to myself, and everyone's like, oh, it's so rough now. I don't think it's any much more rougher than it's ever been in history.
Become more aware of it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so much. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that in all.
I actually do think they released the statistics, and actually crime has gone down.
Well, have you heard of
I think
the book by Steven Pinker, Angels of Our Better Nature?
no.
And he documents how humans have become just progressively less violent as the centuries have gone on.
Yeah.
But we, obviously still have violence in us. It still happens a lot, but it has decreased massively. But we feel like it's increasing because of media coverage.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We used the things
Even
we
with
used to do
medical
to
stuff.
each other, like what people get killed for, and they just get tortured.
Yeah.
Everyone just watch, and it was just normal just to torture people to death in hideous.
You looked at me
hideous
funny.
ways.
Pistols at dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I
Exactly.
didn't know one wanted to die over this.
Yeah. He couldn't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting book.
Well, that's the thing, is it's ignorance is bliss, isn't it? So, if you don't know it's happening, then you don't know it's happening. But maybe it is the thing of it being more reported. Either way, it's not nice.
Anybody like another gift? I brought two each.
Yeah, boy.
I would love another
Crack
gift.
it up.
Okay.
I've still got a little bit of gift
Oh.
here, to be fair, but
Can never have too much gift.
no,
I'm
exactly.
quite enjoying this evening podcast.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It is nice.
It's quite nice.
I'm concerned though that I think I have to, if ever you want me back, is that I'd have to always do it at night, because daytime I'd have evaporated by now. Where's Alex? He's a puddle on the floor.
I was in the fridge.
Yeah, we'll only invite you in on snow days.
So we're here.
We'll shovel the part up to the table.
You're all like this, and I'm just like.
you can melt the snow over the table.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, baby, I love
chitty
the
chin.
way.
Every day.
Oh,
Do you do that thing where, they say they have to stare into someone's eyes while you cheers?
only if I want to fuck him.
I was
I
like,
was just about to say Gabby always tells me to do that. But
Oh,
it's funny, only female friends of mine have said that.
is it just Gabby?
No, it was my friend
Right.
Rebecca as well. See you later. Yeah, I'm like, no.
Cheers, dude.
Look into my eyes.
what the fuck, man?
The party's open for
when-
invitation.
Don't worry about that. Yeah. Damage is done.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I've got another funny story actually about love.
Yes.
Please go on.
We're talking about fucking, but this is my love. This is what actually it's heartbreak. It's heartbreak.
Oh, do
Get
tell.
some music in the background.
Yeah, if you could, just add it in the. I say recently. It's probably been about
12
6
years
years. No, no. It's If you could keep it down. I'm telling a story.
I'm sorry.
I am.
I'm sorry. You're not going to shout at me.
Can you calm down, Kirk?
It's my
Pack it in.
No.
No.
Have you seen Trump's new thing against with the what's it
Is it the hiss?
the journalist?
Oh, well, where he goes, I'm president and you're not.
Yeah, but he's just there's a load of press, and one's having a go at him, classic, because he's a mess, and he just goes, "You're a bad man. You're a bad man." Just that's ridiculous. He goes, "I don't like what you did to so and so, but I think you produce fake news. You're a bad man." And then and he's like, "Next," and the guy stands up. He's like, "Well, I'd like to defend that dude. He's a pretty good journalist." He's like, "I'm not a fan of you either."
It's like, how has it come to this?
He's a man in charge.
It's ultimate troll.
Yeah, ultimate troll. Yeah, it's madness. What are we saying now?
So this love of yours.
No, yes, well, yeah, I've got it's another ridiculous story of mine.
Yay.
Yay! So she broke my heart, but I'm fine about it, clearly. So fucking lonely. No, I'm fine. I just need to drink more.
It's whatever.
Okay.
So, please compose yourself. We were dating for a couple of
No.
years. You're a bad man. We've been dating. We were dating for a few years, and yeah, I did say that I love her. So that that's how I feel. It was about 4 months ago now. So It was a relatively, I'd say, recent. Yeah, we're almost 3 years together. So I said we were almost 3 years.
Hold on, when did this 6 years come from? It's when it started 6 years ago.
No. That was a joke. Yeah, no, because I wouldn't be telling you a story about recent heartbreak 6 years ago. Otherwise, I'm a sad man, very sad. But yeah, no, she. We were together. Not that it could be a he. That's fine. But just not for me. She broke up with me 4 months ago. And the breakup story is just brilliant. It's like it's one of those. Well, obviously I was upset, but I was like, "There's some very funny bits in this." Thing is, I realised how fun it was while it was happening as well, which is the weirdest experience ever. No, so she met up with me and she sent me a text. She was like, oh, "I'd like to talk," and me being me, I was like, "Oh yeah, cool. We can maybe meet up for food." And I was like, "Great." So I go up to see her at the top of my road, and I see her, and I immediately, as soon as I see her, I'm like, "Oh, we're not getting food, are we?"
Yeah.
And I go in and I say, "Oh, you're right," and lean in for a kiss, and she's like that. I'm like, "We're really not getting food. Good."
I'm really hungry.
I didn't eat all day.
Could we actually eat first?
That's the thing as well, because I was like, "Well, I'm going out to see Megan later." Oh, no, we'll cut that name out. I'll go see her later.
Mohammed.
I'm going out for food later. I won't need to eat anything now. So the whole experience of this, I was hungry. So I remember saying, and she's like, "Oh, we've got to a stage now where, yada yada yada. I love you. I'm not in love with you." And I'm like, cool, lovely, great. And I do this weird thing. Whenever anything in my life ever gets to me, I normally go really cold, or I just sort of get a bit clinical, and I go, "Okay." And I was like, "All right, okay, cool." And I think it sort of threw her off a bit. She was like, "Well, I don't want to be with you anymore." And I'm like, "Okay." Okay. No, but I don't want to see you in my life anymore.
How would you like your steak?
Oh, interesting. Oh, nice. Yeah, very nice. I understand. It was very amicable. Very nice way of ending it. And I just remember walking along the road, talking to her about it, and she's like, I don't know if it's right. It's just, you're too big and all this with the cock. No, it's not that. That didn't happen. No, undersized. No, it wasn't. Anyway, she was like, I feel like, she's going to university. I was like, yeah. I kind of understood that. I was like, okay. I didn't want to fight anything. I didn't want it to be horrible between us. So I was like, okay, cool. And then when we really decided at this point, I was like, okay. And she got a lift to mine. She lives like quite far away. And I was like, I wish you checked the bus times before breaking up with me, because your bus is in 45 minutes. So I sat with her at the bus stop for 45 minutes, staring into the middle distance, saying nothing. And I was like, this is my life now for the next 45 minutes.
I'd be like, I'm going to get some food.
Yeah, straight down KFC.
So many people were like, why don't you just leave? But I'd be like, well, what if she got like mugged? Then I feel really bad.
One run.
Not today. So I was sitting there for 45 minutes. The occasional question, like, not real questions, being like, oh, how's your day? Like, broken my heart.
How do you think that went?
You would have.
Bet you've been building up to that for a while.
You could just rate me on TripAdvisor. That'd be nice. And I remember I was like sitting there, and the bus, like we sat there for a long time. It felt like 45 years, and then the bus was coming, and when you can feel the bus coming, and it's like just about to come around the corner, and I was like, okay, cool, this is going to be over. And then I can deal with my emotions how I normally do. Great. And then the bus is about to come. And then this little old dude comes along, right? This little old man. I say old. He's like maybe in his like 40s, but he was holding himself.
You're going to offend a lot of people there.
No, but that's the thing though. Like he was in his 40s, but he looked like he was carrying himself really old. And I was like, oh. And he was holding these bags. Remember, they're very heavy bags, to be fair. I wasn't really paying much attention. And he comes over to us. And we're sitting on this bus stop quite quietly and all this. And he was probably thinking, oh, there's there's two nice people sitting there. Maybe they'd like a little chat or something. So he comes over to me and us, and he goes, "Excuse me, dear, can I just perch myself down next to you two?" And we're just like, and she's like, yeah, great. do what you want, mate. So as soon as he sits down, the bus turns up. She gets up, she just looks at me and she's like, "Sorry," and then gets on the bus,
Floats on.
yeah, floats onto the bus and leaves. And like I said, like I get quite cold, and I don't normally like showing too much emotion. That's a lie, but sometimes not, like at all times.
It's the only time you're not clammy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was like, as soon as that bus left around the corner, I just start crying, like ugly crying as well, like
The noise is...
and I'm like, it's just awful. It was just all came out, and my eyes, my nose, everything. I was like, it's never to return.
God, so savage.
And during my sort of like momentous crying, I can feel and slightly see out my periphery vision this little dude moving towards me, and I was like, I'm really upset right now, but he was really kind. And what if he wants to say something to me, but I really don't feel like talking right now? And then as he gets closer, he then walks away. Even he's left me. And then I'm like, but why shouldn't care? And then I realise the whole situation, and I'm thinking, his thought must have been brilliant. He's gone along going, "Oh, come along and see these two." Sitting there, she's gone. Oh, no, I've sat on the wrong bench. Not having a chat. He was so keen to
get
talk.
on at the next stop.
Yeah, he did. That's the thing is, he didn't even get on the bus.
Oh.
He just came
over for a chat.
He walked away.
Maybe he thought it was his company. She's left and he's crying.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So he's left, and I've realised this in this sort of state of crying. I'm like, this is hysterical. So, yeah, that was that's how my last relationship ended. So she said I was over dramatic. I don't know why.
I have no idea.
I just doesn't see this now.
Well,
She won't. She doesn't care. Alex Abineri, no. What's that fat prick again? This is it for 3 years.
Well, you got a story out of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to write it in a film one day, and then no one will believe it. They'll say, that didn't happen. But, oh dear.
Find the old man again.
Yeah,
Sit in the bus
reunion.
stop.
I remember you. Yeah. You uncompassionate prick. Could have lent me a tissue. No, it was, yeah, that was my story of heartbreak. So.
Wonderful.
No.
Rather quick.
Yeah. So, yeah. There seems to be a silence now.
I went on a date with a prostitute not too long ago.
I remember that.
Yes. Go. you bloody carry on. Good sir.
Right. Okay. So I didn't pay. So let's let's get that
Bloody
out there.
not. How rude. Poor woman.
So I was on Tinder, which is probably the biggest mistake of my life because Tinder's done nothing more than reaffirm all my insecurities.
It's not ideal.
Oh, no one really does like me.
Tinder's awful.
I'm repulsive. Good. So I was I'm realising I'm not painting myself in a good light. But I was like,
I think you are.
We can do a Lonely Hearts ad if you want. Right?
no. Are you into chubby, insecure, mediocre actors? No.
Come to LA. We have tons.
I won't pay.
We shall not split the bill.
So I was on Tinder, and I'll change the person's name. I'll try to at least. I can only just
Penelope.
think Penelope. Thank you.
Penelope.
That's a hard one to say. Penelope.
Call it Pep.
Pep. We'll call her Pep. Pep.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Pep. How you doing, Pep? I got it. It's mine. So I'm having a chat. We match up, and I'm like, oh, she seems pretty. Oh no, that's good. And I was having a chat with Pep, and I was like, hey Pep, how you doing? And I find Tinder really awkward that the first opening things you say. And so I panic most of the time, and I either say, if you were a pizza topping, what would you be? And or I just go, hey, how's your weekend going? Or one of those sorts of lines. And I was like having a chat with her, and we were talking really nicely. And I was like, do you fancy going for a drink? That's also another awkward thing. At what point do you say, do you want to go for a drink?
I'm within the day, I'll send that. And I get mixed feedback because I speak to Lee and he's like, oh no, I'll talk for like a week or two. I'm like, by then I have
Like
no interest.
3 others.
Yeah, I want to know them
Talking
quick.
about Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that evening, I'm just trying back here a bit. But like that evening, I'm like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's go grab a coffee or drink. Because I just want to know who you are. I'm not planning to fuck you on a first date. But let's... just to know.
Well, let's not take all the cards off the
Yeah. I'm not planning not to either. Leave it open.
Prepared to be prepared.
Surprised. So no, but I agree. It's an awkward thing to ask.
Yeah.
I remember asking. I was like, "Oh, do you want to go for a drink?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "Oh, cool." She's like, "I feel like I should tell you what I do for a living first." And I was like, okay. I was thinking, oh, like maybe what, a police officer? How wrong I was. She was like, I'm a companion. And I went, what? I'm a paid... And I went, what? And she was like, I'm a paid companion. And I went, are you an escort? And she was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, oh.
You could buy me drinks tonight.
This is the thing. Anyway, I was like, oh. Okay. And she was like, you're freaking out right now, aren't you? I could just tell. And I was like, I'm not really. I mean, I don't know you well enough to care.
Yeah.
It's new news to me, love. I knew this profession was around for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not
One
that
of the
shocked.
oldest I've heard.
So I was like, no, I was a lot kinder. I was like, no, do what you want, your body. 21st century.
You do your girlfriend.
Yeah, you do you. Yeah, you go, yeah. Do it. And I was like, yeah, have fun. But as long as you feel safe and you're confident, and I do believe that, people should do what they want with their bodies.
Absolutely.
And she was like, oh, that's so refreshing. I know she didn't probably say it like that, but she was like, so refreshing. Because every time I talk to someone and tell them that's what I do, they just tell me, why don't I go find Jesus? And I'm like, who's saying that? I was like, who's saying that immediately?
Yeah. Who are you talking to?
Yeah. Maybe if you told the priest, you should probably find Jesus, dear.
Are you only interacting with priests?
And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, do you still want to go for the drink? And I was like, I can't say no. Like, because, like, that's just rude. And I was like, yeah, no. And she might be a lovely girl. And so I was like, yeah, cool. And we talked for a little bit more before we go to bed. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll see you. We set a date and everything. And then I start to panic. I'm like, we had a good chat. We were like really clicking. And I was like, yeah, no, this could be really nice. She was really pretty and all this. And we're getting on with each other. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fall in love with a prostitute. Oh my God. And I'm like, but like, I've had a really rough day at work. I don't want to know. Like, it's like,
wash your hair.
Yes.
Wash your mouth too, please.
I know it's not shampoo. I'm just like, oh, like, what do I do? Like, it's, and then I'm like, but then I love her, and I can't tell her not to do what she wants to do because, like, that's completely hypocritical.
No, this is a sitcom.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, and then my parents would probably be like, oh, so what does she do for a living? And I'd be like, waitress, I don't know, out late at night.
Say masseuse.
Yeah,
She's a carer.
Yeah, exit carer. Yeah, see,
You should have come to me. I'd have guided you through it.
Coke's got a book ready.
And I was like, so I was panicking at this point. I thought, oh, I'm going to fall in love with her. This is just, and then we're going to have children, and then, well, that's my life, I suppose. Like this is what's going to happen. I overthink things a lot. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, and she's going to be wonderful. And I got there, and she was a really horrible person. Phew! I've never been so relieved in all my life. I can thankfully say I was like, no, I'm actually, you're horrible. Because I was talking to her, I was like, oh, so, like, what are you into and all this? And she's like, I'm a bad bitch. And I was like,
Are you?
And I was like, right,
Can we test
but
this?
like, what? No, but what do you like? What do you like doing? She's like, I like sucking dick. And I was like, well, I was thinking more like music. But
I mean, dick's not
yeah,
nice.
I mean, clearly.
See why? Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, but when I got to the bar where I met her, she was already 2 cocktails deep. That's not a joke either. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. You've made life choices. So I went over and it was the 2 for 1 at like Slug and Lettuce. I was like, oh great, cool. So I understand that, I'd get 2. And so I went over and got 2. She had one of mine as well. So I was like, right, well you've had 3, I've had 1, this is fair. And then she was like, I'll get the next round. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. She pulls out her purse and it is like stacked with cash. And I'm like,
bet she doesn't declare tax.
No. Oh.
Does HMRC know about this? I was like, whoa. And so she was like, yeah, pulls like £100 out. I was like, get the next round. I was like, you really don't understand money, do you? Like, it's not £100 for 2 drinks. So I got it and everything, and then came back. So probably the weirdest part of the date. Oh yeah, there's a weirder part. She brought a friend along with her to the date.
That could be a great part of the day.
No, it wasn't.
It's like,
Yeah.
He is a
Because
prick.
if I was to tell you I went on a date with a prostitute, she brought a friend along with her to the date. Oh, well done, Al.
jolly good shosha.
No. The worst thing is I had more chemistry with a friend. And I was like, and I was just talking to her a bit and everything, and the friend was like, she's got a boyfriend, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Was the friend in the same?
We were in like, no, she wasn't. She didn't. I won't say what she was doing because I think people start working out. People, I don't know, maybe small town, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
and
keep it anonymous.
I was in like a little booth with them, and I was facing opposite the friend and the
The lady of the night.
Penelope was there,
Mhm.
and Pepe from Argentina. No, I was having a chat, and she was really nice. She was like, "Oh yeah, no, I've got my boyfriend. He does films and things." I'm like, "Right now, I'm talking about my life with people I don't really want to be with." And then at the end of the day, we finally get there, and she's like, "I'm gonna," and then Pepe says, "Pepe's like, I'm gonna go and see my mum. Do you want to come with?" And I was like, no.
Oh,
Absolutely
this
not.
could have been one of those like episodes.
Yeah.
Like, like you know the episodes.
Oh yeah.
Are we all thinking?
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
I was like, this date sounds to be getting better and better.
no. Also, as well, I found out how much she said. She said something. She makes like £1,500 a week.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Man, I got a wrong job.
And I'm not being funny. She's a lovely girl. Her personality, but I
Left a
don't
bit
think
to
I'd be.
desired.
I don't think I'd probably be paying this. So I was like,
No.
she's earning a lot of cash, and I'm like,
Who's paying?
well, this is what I'm thinking.
Someone would have to pay me.
I'd be up for that. I'd be up for making £1,500 a week.
How much would I have to pay you to give a man a hand job?
I think I'll stay as an actor.
Everyone's got a price.
Hand job.
Two,
A hand job.
yeah, just a hand job.
Do I have to look at them?
Yes, in the eyes.
Whoa.
Kirk comes
that
into
does make a difference.
Kirk
doesn't
comes into your room, and
It's
he's
Kirk
like,
now.
"It's Kirk."
Right.
He's got.
Well,
he's
then I'll
got-
do it for
He's
free.
got. He puts down,
Respect.
He puts
For
down his.
having me on here today.
He puts down his wallet, and he's like, "How much?
How much?
How much is your? What's your number?
$2,000.
See, that's an awkward thing because
£2,000. I'll do it for £2,000.
No, but that's the thing, isn't it? $2,000. Like,
Mate, I'll be like,
Start bidding what?
I hope you had a great time.
no, 1,500. I'll do it for 1,500.
Bidding war.
Do you have any lower?
It's great. I got it for 20 quid in the end.
Yeah. And they paid me.
That is a really interesting thing,
Yeah,
though.
because if you think about it, when you think someone's like, "Oh no, I wouldn't do it for £1 million," and I go, "Really? Wouldn't you?
I'd
really?
happily do it for
£1
£1
million?
million.
Yeah.
I would. £1 million. Like your life's set then.
What
You can
about-
sort yourself out.
What about a blow job but with condom on?
Ah, see, I don't know. That's
That'd be like 15 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're it's starting to ramp up now, isn't it?
yeah.
You definitely wake up in the
Because
night
I'm like,
remembering
I
that
can
one.
earn that. You know, it doesn't take too long to earn that. I'd rather not. I'd rather not have the memory of sucking a dick.
Yeah.
For
Well,
like,
that's almost a year's wage, pretty much. Like for some people, that's like.
Mm.
but then
Ah.
you spend one afternoon and you've sorted your whole year. Your whole year's set.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm chilling. What did you do? I fucking blew this
Sucked
guy.
a dick.
Yeah.
Sucking dick.
I just sucked a dick.
Yeah. I'm a bad bitch. I like sucking dick.
Yeah.
Soundbite that one.
With the new intro sorted.
Oh, I think we can leave this on a beautiful high note.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's actually been about an hour, hasn't it?
Yeah, 58.
Wow.
Yeah. Perfect.
Lovely.
All right. Well, I enjoyed this. It's been a little while since we did the last one,
Yeah,
but I've kind of missed them. We need to.
it's
we
been
need to
really
try and
fun.
make them more
Alex,
weekly.
dude,
Yes.
stories amazing.
Yes.
Cheers. Thank you.
It's been good. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Signing out.